August 1st, 2023. Old Doc Ellis here. We've got Lavon, vocational rehab. Now this is Social Security disability. I've currently filed a PMI denial for Social Security disability. Now, about 90% of Social Security is denied the first time through. What you do is you get an attorney, and any name off of the park bench will do, and then you get an oral hearing. Right. But here you said did not submit any medical evidence. Now, in Social Security, when you make an application, you list down any doctor you've been to, and they will then go get those records from the doctor, and based on those doctor's records, they'll make an opinion. Now, if you don't have a lot of records, then you can come to Ellis Clinic and we could write you a Social Security report. But I don't recommend it because the Social Security Department wants the records you already have to speak for themselves. But you may not have enough. And then you may not have enough here, especially because we're talking about depression. If you got some psychology stuff, that'll help. Left shoulder impingement, neuropathy, urinary, fecal incontinence. So yes, that could be done if you needed a report from Ellis Clinic. But if you didn't have records, it's because they didn't write for them. So anyway, if you need them, we'll be glad to see. Vocational experts, we will write what you need. They'll send you to Voc Rehab. She's 64. It's easy. Getting fired for not being a misdemeanor, that doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, she also has a VA claim. What evidence do I need to get you to be able to determine if there's a nexus? If you come in and tell me that you had an injury in the service and I believe you, it becomes a nexus report. I provide the medical nexus report. Right? So, you sprained your ankle in the service, and then when you left it was okay, but then later bothered, that ankle is going to be service connected. Because the criteria, if his service contributed the slightest amount, it's 100% covered. So that's just that. Because you're not going to have medical records in service. Right? Now, also there's consequences. Let's say you did have plantar fasciitis and a sprained ankle, and then later you got a knee, that's going to be covered, and later a back's going to be covered. Or if you gain weight and get sleep apnea, that's going to be covered. Right? Under the VA and under Federal Workers' Comp. Okay, now this is Diana. I'm in Texas. How can I find a doctor for scheduled ward? You can find doctors by, it's going to be hard. The scheduled ward, the new book, the 6th edition of the American Medical Association Guides to Evaluate Permanent Impairment, is very detailed and convoluted, which in a way is good. Before I might write 20%, somebody will come up with 5, and it's just based on numbers out of your asshole. Okay, but this is at least everybody's equal. But now you're not equal in scheduled awards because, doctor, if you know this book and you don't know all the Office of Workers' Compensation manuals, procedure bulletins, fecal bulletins, then you're going to make a mistake. For instance, the 6th edition AMA guides, you start off with, what's the diagnosis? Let's say a shoulder. What's the diagnosis? And then there's certain percentages of impairment for that diagnosis. And what's the range of motion? Whichever is higher you go to. If it's the range of motion, that's all you get in the AMA guides. But if you know the fecal bulletin, it's range of motion, and you add a nerve to it that you wouldn't be prohibited in the AMA guides, but the fecal bulletin says which you start with whichever's higher, and then add a nerve, like a nerve from the neck that goes down the arm. Also, you need to know, a doctor needs to know how fair the OWC law and the FECA Act is. You're born with a club foot, and you have several surgeries on your knee, then you go to work for the government, you have a strain of the knee, and you also have a back that's not work-related, with a nerve down the leg. You rate the whole leg, you rate the nerve, the knee, totally what it is, and you add the club foot. Now that's ridiculous, but that's the law. So go to somebody who knows that. Obviously, the people that know that are in this clinic, because they've read all the district medical opinions. You got to know all that stuff. It's a bunch of stuff you got to know. So that's going to, and don't do it like state workers' comp, or you're going to hurt somebody. And also, maximum medical improvement. I love the story. Guys in a webinar He's had 5 surgeries on his knee, including a total knee. The doctor did it under federal workers' comp. Thank you very much. Didn't have to pay copay. When will I be at maximum medical improvement? Well, never. You're always going to need physical therapy. Actually, you're at maximum medical improvement according to FECA and OWCP. You need maintenance physical therapy, but it's not going to make a difference. Therefore, you're going to have a scheduled award, and that's about $300,000. So go to somebody who knows what they're talking about. And I don't know anybody in Texas, but there probably are. If anybody in Texas, any doctor in Texas does, give me a call so I don't cut you off. Because when everybody gets taken care of, you don't have to come to us, but you probably will have to. Bless you all.
Doc, before we go,
yeah.
You want to remind everybody about the webinar coming up this Friday?
Okay, we have a webinar starts at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time this Friday.
Live.
Yeah. Jump on board, send us a question. We will talk about anything you want to talk about. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Doc.